Today I wanted to make a video on a bunch of cycling products that I don't need, but I always buy. Some of them I think have some justification behind them. Other ones are because I'm a sucker. As I go through them, I'll be very interested to know what you guys think of each one of these individual upgrades, and if you would buy them or not, and if I'm justified in buying them or not. So let's get into it. The first one is the oversized pulley wheel. Yes, a big jockey wheel right on the bottom of your chain set. Now, if you don't know what these are for, if you've never seen them before, effectively the goal is to reduce the articulation needed for the chain. So it's doing less bending, meaning it takes less energy and less watts out of the system when you're pedaling along. Now, the numbers quoted are very small. Previously, they were kind of quoted at around saving 2 watts. Now, that seems really nice, but I think that was kind of the pre-chain waxing phase where those numbers were coming out. So I think with a wax chain, you're probably saving less than a watt because a wax chain is already so efficient. But secondly, it's also because it's bigger, it probably adds another watt of aero drag. Now I know it's really far back on the bike, so the wind is very messy by the time it gets here, but it is bigger. So I'd imagine, yeah, aerodynamically, it's probably a little bit slower. The reason why I bought it is because, well, I think it looks cool. Like I said, I don't think it actually makes any gains or benefits. If you watch my review video of one here, it hasn't affected the shifting at all really for me. I haven't noticed any differences, but I just think they look really, really cool. Some people hate them. Some people think like, they're a bit too garish on your bike. But for me, I like it. I think it looks cool. The second benefit, I think, is that you can add some color to the rest of your bike. Now, I think these look better when the color matches more closely with the paint that you've got. Mine, I'm gonna be honest, it's probably a little bit too dark of a blue to match my bike perfectly, so it sticks out like a sore thumb. I would like it to be a lighter blue, but I just think it's a really nice way to add more color and character to your bike. For the next one, we're gonna stick in this rear derailleur section of the bike, and I'm looking at a one-piece rear derailleur hanger. So once again, if you don't know what these are, effectively it's a one piece from the bolt here where it attached onto your frame to the rear derailleur. The stock Shimano one comes as a 2-piece, so effectively it's meant to take out flex in this, giving you crisper shifting on the rear here. When you have an extra bolt, it's also a little bit heavier, so it saves you a couple of grams. This is one I really don't mind saying. I actually really like this upgrade. I think it normally saves about 20 grams, but 20 grams, whatever. I think it's also another great way, if you don't buy the black one like I have, to add colour to your bike. Once again, I think it needs to match your frame colour very well for it to look really good. Or maybe it can match some of that accents on your frame that you've got, and it starts to look really cool, I think. It's just a good way to add character. But honestly, for me, I think it does improve the shifting. Does it improve it much? Not really, no. But I think, in my mind anyway, I can feel the difference when it does have a one-piece rear derailleur hang on it, and when it doesn't. So I like this upgrade. Plus, it's not that expensive to add a bit of character to your bike. Another video of that going further in depth to them linked here in the description below. Next up on my list is kind of a few places. It's ceramic bearings. Now, I've done a recent video that you can see the thumbnail of here, once again linked down below on my Is It Worth It series. And having them in the wheels, for me, hasn't been worth it. So I wouldn't buy the ones that go in your wheels again. But for the bottom bracket, however, I really like ceramic bearings. I use these ones from Seabear, and I just find that they're really high quality. Whenever I take my chain off and give the cranks a spin, it just spins so freely. I've got like 8,000 K on these ones now, and it's just spins so freely. I love it. I can't feel the difference on the ceramic bearings on the wheels, but for me, this is probably placebo, this one for sure. I feel like the bottom bracket runs smoother with the ceramic bottom bracket in there. I also think that these Seabear ones here, because of their price, they kind of run at the same price as a really high quality steel one. And I think from my anecdotal experience, a ceramic bearing does last longer than a normal steel one. So for the same price as a really high quality steel one, I'm getting a really high quality ceramic one that lasts longer and I think feels better. Next up on my list is titanium bolts. Now let me explain why I always buy these ones. Now the advertising marketing behind titanium bolts is kind of twofold. First of all, you replace all of your steel bolts kind of anywhere you want on the bike with a titanium one, and it will be lighter, first of all, and it will prevent corrosion because titanium doesn't corrode like steel does. Now, this is a very, very expensive way to save weight on your bike. You could spend £200 upgrading all of the bolts on your bike, and you could be, I'm just guessing here, saving 40 grams, maybe at most. It's not value for money, let's just say that. But no, the reason that I like to buy them, these are the ones from Silca here, is because I like them to match my frame. I like the colours. You know, I always buy like these little titanium parts that, this is a nicer, lighter blue that matches my frame. And I just think it just makes the whole bike fit together. It comes back to me to the customization of your own bike. It kind of makes your bike feel like your bike. You know, I want my tarmac here to be different to your tarmac. I want all these little bits to match my frame. I just enjoy the customization side of it. Now, is it quite a lot for what it is? Yeah, kinda. But honestly, I buy the titanium bolts for the colors. Simple as that. Now, the next one on my list here is, I buy this one not because it's better, but because I'm a sucker. And that purchase is Dura-Ace. Now, I've been lucky to use, this is the previous 11-speed Dura-Ace with a 12-speed chainring, but I've been lucky to use the 12-speed Dura-Ace and Ultegra quite a lot in my cycling lifetime. And can I feel a difference between the two? Absolutely not. The stock Ultegra is so good. Whenever someone comes up to me and says, oh, should I buy Dura-Ace over Ultegra? No, definitely not. Like, it saves, like, I don't know, what, 250 to 350 grams? Why do I buy it? I don't know. I'm a sucker. I just like the fact that it is that little bit lighter. I kind of prefer the glossy black. I don't like the matte black as much on the Ultegra, but that's just an aesthetic thing. So yeah, I spend like, what, it's like an extra £900 at the moment just to save a few hundred grams and have a glossier look. If you watch my previous video where you know that I've bought a Sika Spear, I have bought the new Dura-Ace to go on that already. It's currently in the paint shop if you're waiting for that video to come out, and should hopefully be back in 2 or 3 weeks. This one is definitely not needed, but I think they're so accessible nowadays that not many bikes don't have them anymore, and that is a power meter. You can get loads of different versions. This one's a crank one. You can get pedal power meters. You can get spider-based power meters in the middle here. They're all great options nowadays. Most of them work really well. Do check before you buy some of them. I think like the Shimano one is way out. But as a whole, they've just got cheaper and more accessible. Do you need it? Definitely not. But do I like it? Yes, yes I do. I don't mind admitting that I feel quite naked without a power meter nowadays. It's not essential for fun, but I really enjoy using it to time my efforts up hills. When I'm on my time trial bike and stuff like that, I really like, you know, using it to measure my power. I just think it's a very, very useful tool for your bike. Yeah, if you're just going to ride and have fun, not necessarily needed, but an upgrade I feel completely naked without nowadays. Last one on my list. This one is one-piece bar and stems. I really, really love the way a one-piece bar and stem looks. I think they make the bike look so good. I think they look clean, I think they look sleek. A lot of the hate I kind of get from, oh, you can't adjust your position on them and stuff. If you've been riding long enough, this is not a beginner upgrade for sure, but if you've been riding it long enough, you should know your position and your fit on the bike. Once you know your stem length and your bar width, why wouldn't you buy it? I mean, like I said, you don't need to buy it at all. That's the point of this video. But I think they look really cool, and they are a little bit more aero. Normally, like what, like 4 or 5 watts at 40k-ish an hour. The keen-eyed of you here will also notice that I've been a sucker once again, and I've got this Alpatube top stem cap to go on top of here. This was way overpriced for what it was. But once again, I like to make my bike look custom. I've paired that with some Cycling Unboxed bar end mirrors right there, which I'm going to be making them for every bike now. Once again, it's custom. I think it looks cool. So there they are, my upgrades that you really don't need, but I buy them anyway. And yeah, I think I can justify some of them. Like I said, like the titanium bolts, I just love customizing my bike and making things fit together nicely and gelling the whole bike together as one with different colors and connective colors and stuff like that. Other ones like the Dura-Ace, yeah, I'm a sucker. That's just me. I'm sure some of you guys are too. A lot of you will have a lot more self-control and will be a lot more sensible than me. But like I said, I would love to know what you guys think. This is just a fun video on the nonsense that I buy. But I've been Jason, this has been Cycling Unboxed. See you in another video.